What happens when the very foundations of a nation's political structure begin to fracture in real time? We are not witnessing the slow erosion of confidence in leadership. We are watching a full-blown collapse, and it's being televised, dissected on social media, and, most damningly, felt on the doorsteps of voters across the UK. The chaos unfolding around Keir Starmer's leadership is not just a matter of internal party disputes or a rough patch for Labour. It is a glaring indictment of a political establishment that has grown complacent, arrogant, and dangerously out of touch. The time for soft words and polite observations is over. Britain is hurtling toward a political reckoning, and the Labour Party is steering that runaway train straight off a cliff. The vote of no confidence in Starmer's leadership is more than a procedural embarrassment. It is a flashing red light signaling systemic failure at the very top of the Labour hierarchy. You don't lose the faith of your own party unless the rot is deep, unless the promises you made were empty, your leadership hollow, and your policies irrelevant to the lives of the very people who put you there. And let's be clear, this didn't come out of nowhere. This has been building for months, perhaps years. Starmer's Labour has consistently shown itself to be politically cautious when boldness was needed, technocratic when passion was demanded, and bureaucratically tone-deaf when the public screamed for clarity and conviction. Now, with an early election looming, thanks to the intervention of King's Counsel, Starmer's worst nightmare has materialized. There is no more time to hide behind focus group slogans or empty gestures. This is do or die, and Labour is limping into the ring with neither fight nor direction. The betrayal of its base, the internal backstabbing, the ideological confusion, these are no longer internal party issues. They are national concerns. They affect real people, real families, real futures. And in the vacuum created by Labour's implosion, enter Nigel Farage. A man who has built his political career on disruption, Farage is now perfectly positioned to become the ultimate beneficiary of this crisis. Many in the media scoffed at the idea of his return, dismissing him as a relic of Brexit's past. But political memory is short, and public frustration is boiling over. Farage understands one thing that neither Labour nor the Tories seem to grasp. People are tired of polished performances, tired of platitudes, and most of all, tired of being ignored. While Starmer fumbles with internal factions and recycled sound bites, Farage speaks to the gut. And right now, that matters more than any policy paper or strategic vision. To dismiss Farage's potential resurgence as mere populist bluster is political malpractice. If anything, it's proof that the elites have learned nothing. While Westminster obsesses over optics and narrative control, Farage is mobilizing sentiment, anger, and disillusionment into something tangible. He offers clarity, even if it's divisive. He offers direction, even if it's controversial. And in a time of political paralysis, clarity and direction win elections. The Labour Party has no one to blame but itself. Starmer's leadership, marked by indecision, bland centrism, and an infuriating allergy to ideological commitment, has drained the party of its soul. A party born from the fires of working-class struggle has mutated into a lifeless shell, parroting moderation in a time that demands radicalism. And if Labour cannot course-correct, now, urgently, with ferocity, then it deserves the electoral oblivion it is heading toward. Let us not pretend this is merely a rough patch in British politics. This is a once-in-a-generation upheaval, the kind of moment historians write about. And those who think the current turbulence will just pass, that the old order will restore itself after a shuffle of faces and a few reshuffled speeches, are catastrophically mistaken. This is not the end of one political career. It is potentially the end of an era. And while the political class clutches its pearls at the thought of a Farage resurgence, it might want to take a long, honest look in the mirror. Because this moment wasn't created by some accident of fate or some clever manipulation by a rogue politician. It was created by years of disconnected governance, tone-deaf policies, and a complete failure to represent the people who gave them power. The British public is not stupid. They see the dysfunction, they feel the betrayal, and they are ready, desperately ready, for an alternative. If Labour cannot provide it, someone else will. And in that void, there is no telling what kind of political beast may rise. But one thing is certain. The era of business-as-usual politics in Britain is over. Good riddance. We are standing on the edge of political reset, one that will either bring much-needed change or plunge the country into deeper disillusionment. What happens next depends not on tradition, not on legacy, but on who has the courage to seize this moment with unapologetic clarity. Keir Starmer clearly does not. Nigel Farage, for better or worse, just might.